happy Wednesday. Out for a cruise. 3 or 4 days ago, I had my 22,500 mile service on my 2022 Corvette. This is a daily driver for me. I take it to work, grocery store, movies, stuff like that. May 10th, 11th, somewhere along those lines, I'll have had the car for 3 years now. So I'm not putting a ton of miles on the thing. Yet at the same time, I do drive it almost every day. I do have a motorcycle as well, so I can put some miles and have some fun on that. Trying something different here. I've got the GoPro kind of hung around my neck like a pendant. And maybe some of you recognize this road. This is the road to Tortilla Flat. So I thought I'd kind of do this little drive review thing on an interesting road. Nice swervy curvy, lots of fun. Let's see, I'll change this. I turned the radio essentially down and off. I'm not sure that anybody wants to listen to my 80s on 8 while we're doing this. But yeah, anyway, I got interested in this car when they first kind of revealed it. I'd never had wanted a Corvette before. Well, I've liked Corvettes, just never enough to want to buy and own one. Putting the engine behind the seats, gives it that kind of exotic car look, and I was kind of sold from that point on. And then, kind of the height of the supply chain constraint things going on. Demand was high for good reason. I mean, this is a fantastic car. You get a lot of car for the money. Not that a $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 car is cheap or anything, but you do get quite a bit for your money. But yeah, anyway, in like July 2021, I'd been looking around the Phoenix area. Most of the dealers wanted $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 ADMs, dealer appreciation fees. Was kind of a non-starter for me. Started lurking on some of the Corvette forums. They were recommending McMulkin, C8, I forget which other ones that, the volume dealers, they sell stuff at MSRP generally. I'd never bought a car out of state, so that was an interesting experience too. I ended up going through McMulkin. But yeah, I wired them, I don't know, $2,000, $5,000, I forget what the down payment was at the time to get on their list. Thank you. These people are going to let me go and play a little bit. And then come March, I got an email from McMulkin. My number had come up. Went to the configurator, emailed them how I'd like the car customized, which was pretty cool. That's something I'd never done before. I was just kind of bought what was on the dealer's lots for previous cars. And with the supply chain issues, they got back to me. I couldn't have the high wing that I originally wanted. I wanted the engine appearance package. That was also unavailable. And the magnetic ride control. Suspension was a must-have for me. And that was on constraint too, unless I bought the Z51 package, which was something that I initially didn't really want. This person's going to let me go through too. Thank you. Much appreciated. So yeah, ended up kind of hemming and hawing. Got back to him a few days later. I'm like, all right, let's add the Z51 package. Other options, I got the magnetic red mist tint coat for the paint color, which is fantastic. It really pops in the sun. There's some metal flake in it, yellows, oranges. It's a very pretty color. I went 3LT. I figure you spend your time in the car, so you might as well have the interior as nice as possible. I also went with the coupe. Not really a convertible fan. I've only had the roof off once outside of when I did the museum delivery. Let's see, what other options? I did the front lift. That comes in handy. I know you can go at certain driveways and stuff at angles and stuff. So it's not necessary. I suppose anything above the base car isn't really necessary. It's all kind of wants. But it's nice with driveways and some of the speed bumps and some of the places where I go to movies and shopping and stuff along that line. It does have like 1,000 memory GPS thing. I've got 30-ish saved. So I don't see ever filling that. But it is nice. Let's see, I did, what other options did I do? They only had one level of like carbon for the interior. That I kind of like. Thank you for moving. This would have been a better spot for him, but you don't know what you don't know. I drive this road fairly often. I'm not going to say I could drive it in my sleep, but I do like it. And we're just out for a cruise here. Maybe on the way back I'll put it in Z mode and get on the gas a little bit. Get the tires squealing, we'll see. But yeah, anyway, did the museum delivery. All in all, before taxes, it was around $93,000. So again, not cheap, but it is a fantastic car, and I guess bang for the buck for things that you would compare this to. A lot of those cars are $50,000 plus more expensive than this. Talking Porsche Cayman, 911, R8, the Nissan GTR. There's some other cars that I'm forgetting. But yeah, the Stingray is a fantastic car for the money. It does everything I need and wanted to do. Part of me, just for rounding things, it would be nice if they could have tweaked things a little bit just to get you over that 500 horsepower. I mean, 495, 500, it's essentially the same thing. than that, yeah, the car is great. Handles well. It's quiet when you want it to be. You know, the exhaust is a little subdued for the most part. With the Z51 package, it does have the NPP exhaust, which gets you a little more horsepower and torque, but 5H is probably not anything that anybody could sense, feel. I don't really think there's any other big ticket items that I had spec'd on this. Let them go. A couple one-way bridges along this drive. But I just have this hanging from my neck, so I might try and straighten it out every once in a while. Hopefully the video turns out decent enough. Anyway, yeah, it's a fantastic car. A couple years ago they did the Z06 bespoke flat plane crank, 85-ish, 100 RPM, 670 horsepower, wider body, wider tires, stiffer suspension, more capable kind of track car. Last year, I think it was last year, yeah, I did drive one of those at Exotics Racing in Las Vegas on a racetrack. It was nice. Sounds good, looks good. On a racetrack, it was certainly nice and fun. Day to day, I'm not sure that it's something that I would, at least to me, spend the extra $40,000-ish to get. That's just me, though. On the forums, it does seem like a lot of people that have it love it, so, you know, and a lot of them have stepped up from this to that. And, this wasn't quote-unquote racy enough, sporty enough, whatever word you want to use, and that's kind of check that box for those people. But yeah, it was a nice car. I think if the price was closer, I would consider. But yeah, I don't know if I will own one of those. Never say never, though, right? And then yeah, last year they came out with the C8 E-Ray. It's got the same engine that this car has, electric motor up front, so it's all-wheel drive. Almost as much power as the Z06. Does have the Z06 body and whatnot, so it does give it wide body treatment. I think this car is plenty wide, maybe even too wide. Maybe if the car was, 6 inches narrower and a foot shorter, it'd be a couple 100 pounds lighter. I don't know. I mean, that was one of the complaints about these cars, is everything just keeps getting heavier and heavier. I believe this car is almost 3,700 pounds, right in that range anyway. The E-Ray is like 4,000, 4,100. I have not driven one of those yet. For a street car, I mean, I do like the burble of this with the 6.2 liter, 2-valve. It does have a nice rumble to it. The Z06 does sound phenomenal when it's wound up. So how much would I actually do that on a, as a street car. So I would be interesting to drive the I should have passed this person. I suppose for me, the way I drive, if I were to get something else, it might be the E-Ray. I'm in Arizona, so all-wheel drive isn't really a need, concern. The instant torque from the electric motors sounds like it would have some great appeal to it, and it's more speeds that tend to go. I'm not one of those people on the freeway that's doing 60 to 160 kind of pulls with people. Not to say that I don't speed from time to time. Otherwise I would have looked somewhere else for a car. And then just a month or two ago they revealed the new ZR1. That looks like an absolute monster. 1,064 horsepower for only, and I'd like to throw up some air quotes there, only $175,000. This is a bargain, but that is a ton of car for that kind of money. I mean, the first $1,000 or 1,000 horsepower car I can think of was Bugatti. Granted, super limited production, but that started at like $1 million or something like that. I mean, Chevy really hit the ball out of the park when it came to this car. Not sure how many more model years of this there will be. There's rumors of a even higher end Zora with some sort of electric front drivetrain, 1,400 horsepower. I guess, that'll be even heavier, which a lot of people aren't too happy with. But if they're going to do it right, it probably needs a little bit more battery than the E-Ray has. And 2 electric motors, one for each wheel. Then they can actually do some true kind of torque vectoring versus what the E-Ray does, where they just drag one of the brakes. That's why that car comes standard with the carbon ceramic brakes. I'm sure it works, it's effective. Carbon brakes last a long time, so it's probably not a problem or issue. But at the same time, if they're going to do a Zora, they should probably do it the right way. And do 2, a motor for each wheel. And I don't know if they'd have to change gearing for electric motors or how exactly that works. My understanding is the E-Ray, the electric motor cuts out at somewhere around 140, 150 miles an hour. So this is Tortilla Flat. Nice place. They got some live music. There's a bar, restaurant there. The food is actually pretty good. Try and straighten this out. Again, it's just kind of hanging around my neck. a fun road. Whether I'm in the car or the motorcycle, I try and do like the lane discipline. But there's more room to maneuver with the motorcycle since it's a smaller, narrower vehicle. And then let's hit the Z mode button. It is programmable. I don't remember what it was when I got the car, but I did go into the menu setting and set it up kind of like a split between sport and track. Firm up the suspension a little bit, dead animal. I do have the track transmission setting, so that stays in V8 all the time. For this kind of driving, that's nice. I'm sure on the way to Tortilla Flat when I was in tour, you probably saw on the dash maybe it go from V8 to V4 from time to time. What's nice with the car, I should probably zoom in a little bit, but I usually have the map up. That way I can kind of glance over from time to time to see which part of the road is next. Where the bridges are, stuff like that. And as you can tell, there's not really any guardrails. So you drive over your head. Trouble. Otherwise, let's see, what else can I think? The car has been awesome. Outside of our Phoenix area, most of the in-town streets and arteries are 45-ish miles an hour. So I've actually been getting fuel economy similar to what GM projects for this car. Overall, averaging 19-ish miles to the gallon, which is the combined rating. I think it's 16 in town, 25 on the highway, something like that. And I guess too, getting back to the mileage, or staying with the mile per gallon thing, this does have that active fuel management. Some people like it, some don't. I don't mind it. When I'm driving fast or whatever, accelerating hard, fuel economy is not a concern. But then when I'm on the highway, going somewhere, just, then it's kind of nice to see it switch into V4 mode and get, on the display there, it might say 35 miles to the gallon, 32, kind of depends on speed. And the usual things, uphill, downhill, how windy it is, stuff like that. I do kind of get it that that's another point of failure. Some of the older cars, the older Corvettes and stuff, you can get something, I forget exactly what it was called, but that would disable the active fuel management V8 all the time. But you still have all those parts in the engine for the active fuel management. So I don't know why disabling the active fuel management would make things more reliable. And yeah, let's see. Oh, looks like the thing's gotten a little cockeyed again. And yeah, with the Z mode, I've got the exhaust set for track mode as well. Supposedly the exhaust valve is either open or closed, but in the menu there's like 4 different settings for it. So I don't know if it has something to do with, RPM where it opens and closes, or how much throttle to open and close. But I find I can hear it pretty good, actually. Hopefully that's coming through on the mic. The car's got good pickup. I mean, it sure it's a V8. With the 8-speed dual clutch, it is geared pretty tall, though. Even with the Z51 gearing, which is a little bit shorter. That'll help it get to 0 to 60 in 2.9, I believe. But even with the Z51 gearing, it's still geared for some ridiculous 250, 260 miles an hour. Haven't really looked at it or done the math, but you'd probably need like 1,500 horsepower to hit that top speed. But, GM, Chevrolet, they've got fuel economy standards to meet. Part of me would like them to go a little more aggressive on the first 5 gears, maybe 6, and then have the other ones as the more overdrivey highway mile per gallon kind of gearing. Glance over on the map there. This is a nice twisty, windy road if you haven't figured that out by now. Weekends are busy, holidays are busy. This is Wednesday, so traffic's a little lighter. It does kind of build up as the day goes on. One of the things that is kind of cool that GM does with their Corvettes, and I don't know how many people actually take advantage of it, is the new owners driving school with Ron Fellows from Nevada. I think it's like $3,700, but GM will subsidize it, and then it's like $1,000, which which is a good deal. This person's going to move over for me. Thank you, thank you. Or maybe they were going to pull off there anyway, I don't know. And yeah, hopefully some of that exhaust note is coming through. Leaving it in automatic mode. It actually does a good job with shifting, downshifting, holding gears. But yeah, the Ron Fellows thing was cool, a lot of fun. 2 days. It's not without additional costs, depending on where you live. We got there like a day early, which is a night in a hotel. You know, you need food. And some people have to fly in, have a rental car. You'd fly to Las Vegas. Expensive than just the 1,000, but it was worth it. I mean, if you've done it before, and for me, never having had a Corvette before, it was super cool learning how the capabilities of the car, which are way beyond my capabilities. Some of the things that you do, the little 0 to 60 thing with the onboard timer. They're at elevation. They do the track alignment. And I don't know how accurate the timer is on this car, but my best was 3.7. In this, just leaving from a stop and just mashing the gas, I did a 3.7 here in Phoenix, but I've got the street alignment, so the tires are flatter. So, little divot in the road there, that wasn't fun. In a smaller, more narrow car, you know, Miata or something like that, this would be a hoot. Not that I'm not having fun. Porsche Cayman, something that's more narrow, lighter. And some of these turns are blind. And you'll see a lot of people towing boats and stuff like that. Go down to one of the lakes there, Canyon Lake, I believe. And I think we might be at the end. Yeah, this looks like the beginning. Anyway, we'll take it out of Z mode. Put it back into tour mode automatically. And I don't know if it's visible in the camera or not, but it switched to V4 mode. Got a lot quieter. And yeah, hopefully this video turns out. Maybe we'll upload it to YouTube. And then too, like from the beginning of the video, kind of rambling here now. I did the third service, 22,500 miles, oil change, flush and fill the dual clutch transmission, and that's all that needed to be done. Pricey. It was $1,600-ish. The oil change was about $200. So yeah, it kind of is what it is. I mean, when you buy something nice and or expensive, maintenance it can be expensive. But yeah, the car is amazing. You know, if this is something you're interested in getting, I highly recommend it. You know, whether you get something dealer stock, which I think they're discounting some of that stuff now, or if you go through and you custom order it, you know, that was a pretty cool experience. You know, hopefully the supply chain issues aren't as bad as they were, and you can order things exactly how you want. Versus getting dealer stock where, you know, somebody at the dealership kind of just builds stuff and it is the way it is. I know, you know, you can kind of customize things after the fact. Some things you cannot add. You know, say the car is perfect, but it doesn't have the magnetic ride control suspension. You know, that's not something that can be added later. It would be super, super expensive, but, you know, there are places that would reupholster things if you wanted to, you know, if they had one that was, you know, 1LT, 2LT. 1LT is more fake leather. 2LT's got some upgrades. The camera rearview mirror, a little bit more leather, and then 3LT's got a lot more leather. It's nicer. I have sat in the 2LT's, and yeah, I mean, if you don't know any better, it's great. I'm not going to knock it. For me, I don't see going backwards. You know, if somewhere down the line I get another Corvette, I don't see going to a 2LT. It gives it kind of a more luxury car. It smells better, all the extra leather. I mean, it's nice. Some people want those natural dipped interiors. That can only be had with the 3LT. But otherwise, yeah. Hope you enjoyed this video. I guess when I get home, I can find out if it actually turned out. And that'll determine whether I upload it or not. I have shot a bunch of motorcycle videos, but they haven't been all that interesting, so those just, I kind of watch them, it's like, and then just delete them. Anyway, hope the rest of your Wednesday or whatever day you watch this goes well, if I do upload it. And, yeah, have a good one. GoPro, stop recording.